Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang talked about all of the reasons why he's bullish about his company's long-term prospects. I'll review some of the comments the manager made, as well as add my own opinions and my thoughts about how Nvidia CEO should be communicating with investors. Given that the stock price has reached a sort of a ceiling here, it hasn't performed well so far year to date in 2025. And I think investors want to hear a different message, which I'll talk a little more about as I reveal the comments made by the CEO.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
And so Nvidia CEO said that, whatever the forecast people have for data centers, I think Nvidia's proportion of that is going to be quite large. And we're not just building a chip, we're building networking and switches. And so Nvidia stock investors have been hearing this for, 3, 4, 5 quarters now with Nvidia. And this type of communication doesn't seem to be having the impact on Nvidia shareholders that the CEO previously was having, right? About a year ago, these types of comments were causing the stock price to increase. And as of year to date in 2025, Nvidia share prices are down, and Nvidia CEO keeps talking about and keeps reiterating these points on the growth potential for data centers fueled by artificial intelligence in the very long run. And it seems to me there's a lot of talk about something uh, intangible, something way down the line in the future, and that's not resonating with investors. I think I'm of the opinion that Nvidia CEO needs to focus a little bit more in the communications over the near term, right? Over the next couple of quarters, and how much product they're sending out in these next 1 or 2 quarters. Where is demand coming from over these next 1 or 2 quarters? What demand looks like for its products over this next 2, maybe 4 quarters at the very most, and how much of this latest generation Blackwell technology they're selling. Is it still sold out? How far into the future is it sold out? Those types of things, more near term, more quantifiable, and connecting more so to the company's 2025 revenue and profit, and then maybe getting into 2026 in terms of revenue and profit potential. I would like to see less discussion from Nvidia about the prospects for 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later. Less about that, as the company has done a pretty good job communicating that information to investors over these last 4 quarters. So we've gotten a lot of insight into that, right? And so I think investors need more detail about the near term, the next quarter, the next 2 quarters, the next 3 quarters. We need more insights, more details, more discussion about these things, and less discussion about the very long term future. So the CEO went on to talk about manufacturing intelligence will be an entire industry. So similar to how today you have manufacturing industries that manufacture cars, right? You have the building and it manufactures cars. You have the technology inside the building, and that technology in that building, the purpose of that is just to produce cars. Well, the CEO is talking about something similar, but with intelligence. So you have a whole building with technology inside, of course, NVIDIA's technology primarily, producing intelligence, producing insights. And that's something that the CEO is bullish on for the long term. And I agree that this is a category that is likely to drive significant growth for Nvidia and Nvidia stock investors. This is something to be bullish about. Artificial intelligence is getting really, really good. If you're using artificial intelligence for your day-to-day operations, it's becoming more and more helpful. I'm using AI all the time in giving me guidance and giving me insights into various categories of the type of things that I'm doing in a new product development for you all, and deciding on and getting clues on what type of products will fit, what type of content will be good, and all of that stuff. And as time has went on, like I've been going to these AI services for insights for over a year now. I'm closer to 2 years now, and it's getting better and better. The types of insights the large language models are delivering are getting better and better and better. And so if you think about, I'm a relatively small business in the grand scheme of things. If you think about these really big businesses, they need more insight, and they need that insight to be live and current, right? On a day-to-day basis, weekly basis. And AI has a better capability of delivering that kind of insight, those kinds of insights, than any consulting agency might have. The consulting agency needs to digest so much information about your company and then go out and create insights from that information. It's collected and digested, and then it comes back to you perhaps weeks later, maybe months later, with some insights that may or may not be actionable. Whereas the AI can have real-time data collection from your business's proprietary data and incorporate that and deliver real-time insights into your business, real-time insights into certain product categories, maybe certain promotions or incentives you might be running, and how you might adjust those promotions and incentives. And it's going to be extremely, and it already is, extremely valuable for businesses. So they're going to be willing to pay for these manufacturing facilities that will deliver insights into the operations of the business. And the CEO is talking about how it's not just going to be, Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet spending money on these data centers for AI. It's going to be companies like Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's and uh, these types of stores and these types of businesses that need insights into their operations. And that latest announcements, its deal with General Motors, is just an example of that. A company that has several moving parts, that operates worldwide, billions of dollars in revenue, billions of dollars in costs, a rapidly changing environment for its end markets. And so it needs that kind of intelligence to make good decisions so that its business can effectively compete in the dynamic world as it exists today. So I agree that these are bullish prospects, and I agree and I understand why the Nvidia CEO is so optimistic about these longer term categories for its business. I would just like to see a little more information from the CEO about the near term, the next 1, 2, and 3 quarters in more detailed fashion. The actual numbers, the revenue, the number of units sold, how is the gross profit margin going to expand over these next 2 quarters? How many quarters in the future is the next generation technology sold out, and how much capacity do you have available? Are you restrained because Taiwan Semiconductor cannot produce enough? Those kinds of insights, those are the kind of things I want to hear more about, that I feel there's a bit of a scarcity of that kind of information. And there's been a lot more of the longer term information coming out from NVIDIA's communications over these last 3 and 6 month periods. Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.